The first thing I do after being reborn is secretly keeping 6 stunning male models behind my wealthy husband's back. I seduce them and sleep with them for 999 days to get myself pregnant. I do all this because in my past life, my husband found out that he had asthenozoospermia and married me because I'm known for being fertile. He wants to carry on the family line so that he will have a successor to inherit the family fortune. I try everything I can to get pregnant, but nothing works. Conversely, my infertile best friend gives birth to twins and triplets within 2 years after marrying a 70-year-old man. When my wealthy husband hears that my best friend is blessed with children, he is immediately captivated. They get together behind my back and even arrange for someone to run me over with a car when I find out the truth. After my death, I discover that my best friend has bound herself to the child switch system. Any child I am impregnated with is transferred into her womb. My best friend's infertility is transferred to me in return. When I open my eyes again, I find myself back on the day when my husband married me and brought me home. I smile happily when I think about all the things that took place in my past life. My best friend wants lots of children, doesn't she? If so, I will make her experience the joy of having 18 babies in one pregnancy. You married above your station when you married into the Grayson family. Please remember your duty and give birth to a son who can inherit the family fortune. Let's have a trial marriage for 2 years. If you can successfully get pregnant within that time, I'll marry you officially. A cold, impassive voice spoke in my ear. I jolted back to my senses and saw Chase Grayson staring arrogantly at me. He was a wealthy heir. I had been trapped in a burning car just a second ago, but now I was reborn. I had come back to the day my husband Chase had brought me into his prestigious, wealthy family. When I remained dazed and silent, my best friend Willow Rivers hastily nudged me. She was wearing a bridesmaid's dress. Callista, you should feel lucky that you were able to marry into a wealthy family when you come from such a poor background. Why are you hesitating? Are you afraid that you won't be able to get pregnant within that time and that they'll get rid of you? I looked up at the sound of Willow's sarcastic voice. She didn't even bother to hide the glee she felt. In my last life, I had been overjoyed at the prospect of marrying into a wealthy family because I would be able to raise the money for Grandma's operation. I hadn't suspected Willow at all. My family was known for being fertile, starting from my great-great-grandmother. All the women in my family had multiple births. It was common for them to have twins or triplets. When it was my mother's turn, she had 7 children in total. 6 of them were sons, while I was the only daughter. Chase was a wealthy heir who was diagnosed with asthenozoospermia. When he heard about how fertile the women in my family were, he began to court me enthusiastically. I couldn't help falling for him, and as Grandma needed a huge sum of money for a life-saving operation, I happily agreed to Chase's proposal. However, Chase did an about-turn at the wedding and suggested having a trial period for our marriage instead. In order to save Grandma, I had no choice but to agree. I tried desperately to get pregnant for 2 years. I had countless ovulation injections and endless bottles of folic acid and traditional medicine. 2 years flew by, but I did not show any signs of pregnancy at all. Chase felt deceived by me and started to abuse me physically. At the same time, my best friend Willow gave birth consecutively to twins and triplets after she married a 70-year-old man, even though she had previously been diagnosed as infertile. Willow became known for having many children, and she soon caught Chase's attention. They started having an affair, and she even became pregnant with his illegitimate child. When I discovered them, Chase kicked me out of the house and stopped giving me the money I needed every month for Grandma to stay alive. I tried my best to make him stay. Since I had put in so much effort for the past 2 years, I begged him to lend me money so that I could save Grandma. However, Willow was afraid that Chase would relent. She ruthlessly sent someone to run me over with a car. After I died, I realized that Willow had bound herself to the child switch system. Any child I became pregnant with would be transferred to her womb. In return, her infertility was transferred to me. In the end, Willow successfully became pregnant and married into the wealthy Grayson family. She began using her influence to oppress my entire family. After I was run over, she deliberately brought the pieces of my corpse to the hospital to trigger Grandma, who ended up having a heart attack and dying tragically.